Hello, family. Veda Howard here for Your Praise 1025. And we know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And here at Praise 1025, we want you to be whole spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, the whole you. 3rd John 1 verse 2 says, "Beloved, I pray above all things that you will prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers." So that's talking about a whole you. And today we are elated to have Northside Mondays, Mental Health Mondays. And our guest today is Reverend Amani Legangneur. Now, she is the manager of spiritual health and education for Northside Hospital System. How are you, Amani?
Feeling really honored and blessed to be here, Veda.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. We're honored to have you. I said, oh, yeah, we get a reverend. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. Well, obviously, a lot has been going on, and I've often mentioned, of course, May being Mental Health Awareness Month, and every year I normally kind of mention extra information regarding that. But in light of what the world is going through still, I mention it more often than just in the month of May. But we're glad to have you here, and let's hop right in because for a lot of people, Amani, asking for help can be a challenge, especially if you're talking about someone, and oftentimes it's women who you've been on the hamster wheel of being the caregiver. You're on autopilot. So how can someone feel less hesitant about asking for help, stopping that rat race cycle?
I think that's a wonderful question. I think recognizing that we need help and that that is a human condition, that there's something about actually an act of faith in
Mhm.
saying, okay, I know that I need support. My favorite prayer in the Bible is help. When Peter is sinking,
Right. That's deep.
he says help. And that is a complete prayer all by itself.
Amen.
And
Amen.
so I think for us to say, okay, especially as women, particularly as Black women,
Yeah.
we are not super women. We definitely need support in many areas of life, and that we're not built or created to do it all alone.
How about that?
We need to reach out for our resources in each other and in our faith in order to make it through times like this.
That is absolutely true. I always say Wonder Woman, though a lovely series and movie, it's not a real human being, everybody. We can't,
Right.
don't do that to yourself. And a lot of times, like you're saying, Amani has said, first, you need to stop and acknowledge you are a human and we need to ask for help. And someone once mentioned asking for help is actually a sign of wisdom
That's right.
and strength. I mean, that's, you're pausing to say, okay, wait a minute, I've stepped over the realm of reality here. Let's bring in some extra forces. Now, what are some lifestyle changes that women can start embarking upon to improve their total health? How can they start implementing habits of self-care? I keep using the word habit because it needs to be not just, oh, it's May. No, you need to infiltrate this into your schedule.
You're absolutely right, Vita. There are several different areas of life that we need to implement self care inside of. Mind, body, spirit, of course, for your physical well being. Notice if there's something going on in your body. Notice if you're holding your breath because you're anxious,
Mhm.
for example, and just try to take more deep cleansing breaths through the day. Go outside, take a walk, move your body, exercise. All of those things are gifts to your system that actually help your mental health and help your spiritual health. Notice if your spirit feels out of balance. Are you no longer doing your faith disciplines? Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you noticing beauty? Are you
Mhm.
honoring something that's more transcendent than yourself and connecting to community? If none of those things are happening and those are things that you would typically do, replug in, connect to that again, and see if that river and that energy can flow. Um, Emotionally, It is so normal to feel down right now. Most of us, I think, feel a little bit different than we normally do.
Right. Off. So just something's
Just
right.
off.
Yeah.
Something's very off, and it's off on a lot of levels. There's the COVID pandemic, there's a pandemic of racial injustice. We're dealing with tremendous amounts of grief and loss, not just in this country, but as a planet. Nature feels out of balance. There's just so many different things. And if you're a spiritual person, you're usually an intuitive person too. So, sometimes I just pray, okay, Lord, let the angels come and provide a shield for me so that
Mhm.
I can tell where I end and the world begins. So that the world's not too much with me. I can
Right.
be with it and I can honor it and I can serve it, but I'm not inhaling all of the sadness inside of it. And I'm remembering that God has the power to take care of things that I can't take care of. If you're not a person of faith, that you're sharing that burden with people that you trust around you is also really important. So, all of those things are helpful to me.
That's huge. Like you're saying, the word says we're in it, but not of it. As I often say, you want to affect the world, but not be infected by it. And that does take, you have to be aware and kind of pause and say that. You mentioned deep breaths. I had a friend laughing, deep cleansing breaths. And one day it was just crazy. And I said, I'm doing so much deep breathing. My lungs are probably like, what's going on out there? What is this? But hey, if it works, I'm like, I'll give it a try. We're going to deep breathe our way through this. It won't be like this always. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm trying to implement the tools that are being shared. And now, Amani, there are a lot of women, a lot of people, a lot of our listeners who want to help. They want therapy. They want to speak to someone, but they can't afford it. They don't have the insurance, or they used to have insurance and unfortunately lost their job, because of the pandemic. What are some alternative or affordable resources available? And what do you offer at Northside? And how can people contact you or the services at Northside Hospital?
If they go to www.northside.com and look for a provider, they can connect with our behavioral health services and be guided from there into resources, perhaps in their community, that will be affordable for them. We have a social media presence at hashtag talk about it, where they can get into community with other women, where they can say things that don't sound like, well, I'm fine, or I'm handling it. And if they are doing well, where they can share, this is inspiring me, this is working really, really well. I think one of the things that happens when you have a collective kind of despair, what's going on right now, and this collective grief, is that people can feel more isolated than ever. They can start to feel guilty about not doing everything the same way they used to do it, or ashamed of not being able to jump out of bed with a smile on their face every morning. And I think just normalizing that and connecting into resources that say, you know what, we hear you. We're here to listen. We're not here to fix you. We're here to help you have resources to make you feel more whole, more like yourself, and more healthy. Really goes a long way. So thank you for what you're doing to demystify and destigmatize mental health services, because it's so, so important for us to take care of ourselves in every way, and particularly in this way during this time.
Absolutely. And it's awful as the pandemic has been, obviously, just because of what it is. I think it has opened new doors in the realm of mental health for a lot of people, and hopefully it will be something they continue even long after the pandemic is over. So hopefully we're kind of course correcting here,
Yeah.
and hopefully that will be the slight silver lining out of it all. Thank you so much for your time. We've been speaking to Reverend Amani Legangneur, the manager of spiritual health and education for Northside Hospital. She mentioned you can visit northside.com, check out their behavioral health services. There's something there for you. And obviously, pray, trust God, but understand that the Lord often helps us by using other people. So reach out and understand that God wants you to be whole, healthy, and at peace. Thank you so much. I'm Veda Howard, and this is Your Praise 1025. Okay, they'll be able to edit that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so good at what you do.
Oh, you're so
Thank
sweet.
you. Thank you
Likewise.
for your ministry. It's just a huge, huge help in times of trouble. I should have said, listen to Veda. Listen to music.
Well, thank you for
You're
listening.
better off.
Oh, wow.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
it's all, you do what we can. I think a lot of people, even people in the faith community, uh, you know, you don't realize how important things like choir rehearsal and other people who are active in other, organizations in their church. And when all that stopped, you're realizing, oh, those were self-care. Those are things that make you happy. I'm going to go sing. And when that was snatched, you're like, oh, wow. Okay. Now we're understanding here. So I think we're all becoming more in tune with what it really is.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
thank you
think
so much.
I'm your last person. You're off your press junket now.
Yeah,
I'm the
good.
next.
I could go have some lunch.
You've earned it.
Thank you so much. And
God bless you, Amani. You take care.
this will be on next Monday.
This coming Monday. So each station is like airing the interviews at different times. So I don't know
Okay.
who your point person is, or maybe you can ask.
Yeah, I'll ask.
Yeah, so for I'm filling in on Monday, starting June 1st. Jacqueline Carr, I know you're familiar with that recording artist. She's going to be our midday personality.
Cool.
Yes, so that's awesome. So I work behind the scenes and I do weekends on Praise, but so she's starting them, but to make sure we can accommodate Northside, I'm filling in the last Monday and this Monday. So I'm probably going to do mine during lunchtime. So definitely in the noon hour, maybe a little bit of the 1 o'clock hour, but definitely in the noon hour for Praise 1025.
Well, I'll be sure to tune in, and please feel free to edit at will to make it sound better.
It's all good.
So,
You're a
okay.
natural. You're a natural. You were called to talk. That's why you're a reverend, right?
To teach, but I do the preaching because I have to
Well,
do that
teaching
first.
requires talking, does it?
That's true.
Okay, I'm just
But not thousands and thousands of people at a time. That's what I'm trying to get used to.
okay. Well, that's fine. It's just me and you here. It's just me and you.
That's true.
And
Well,
whoever
thank you.
listens, God will be glorified.
That's right. That's what my prayer is. So you take care and take care of yourself.
You too. Bon appetit. Happy lunch.
Okay, bye.
Bye.